Hi, my name's Dee, your Professor of Woo Woo, and welcome to Sunchild Tarot, and welcome to the general reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever area chart you're looking at for September, or whenever you're led to it by the title, because it's like any divinatory thing, it's useful when it's useful. So, as a general reading rules apply. You know, timing's not absolute. If there's other personalities here, I can get you and them mixed up, but with the cards that I've got in front of me right now, no, it looks pretty clear, to be quite honest. But where it's different from a lot of the general readings on YouTube is either take the whole reading or take none of it. Because what I would like you to do is ask a question. So prior to the readings, prior to me, once I've finished my waffle, pause the video. Think about all of the questions that are around you, be aware of all of them, focus on one of them. That gives energy to the process, but I warn you, the cards will answer what they please. They don't have the same sense of priority as you and I do, at least not always. And there is a past and a present in this spread. So if the past and the present don't fit, don't try and make it fit. Go and watch your moon, go and watch your rising sign, your Venus sign. And if you don't know what they are, there is a link as ever in the description below to, to two different sites, I think, I've got in there, to go and get yourself a free birth chart. You need your time and place of birth as well as date, or at least the time helps. To get a rising sign, your time helps. And always watch your rising sign. Come what may. Watch your rising sign. If you've only got time to watch one of them, watch your rising, not your sun. Yeah, that's it. Also down there is a link to the Facebook page for this channel. So if you've subscribed and clicked the notification bell and YouTube still doesn't tell you what I'm doing out, then add the Facebook page to your list, and then Facebook can also not tell you what I'm up to. But more importantly, that Facebook page, there's an inbox there. So if you want to contact me for a personal reading, that's the best way to do it. So that's all my waffle. Oh, I've gone a bit longer, 2 minutes 20. I can't think of anything else. So like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Let me bring up the cards now. As I was shuffling these, Leo, or was dealing them out, sorry, from the first lot, so I'm using the Tarot Apocalypsis, and then these ones with the borders are the Gilded Tarot. So obviously the Apocalypsis went out first, and my first thought was, oh my God, Libra, what's happened? There has been a loss around you. A loss that hasn't taken everything from you. I want to point this out. So 5 of Cups, 6 of Swords. There is a loss that has a high possibility of taking you through to a better place. And you are in the process of getting to that better place at the moment. However, there is a very strong personality here with the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords could be male, could be female. But the Queen of Swords is someone who will cut things away, and they have a lot of force behind them, a lot of determination. They are hell-bent on this with the Ace of Wands. So it's almost, with the Ace of Wands being underneath, you know, like a driving force pushing this card forward. I'm not going to attribute all the responsibility for the urge to cut to the person who is cutting, because we don't know what demons are driving them. However, for you, that's irrelevant because they're still the person doing the cutting. But it seems weird because you're coming out of a situation where you had been balancing things so constantly. You know, I'm not saying you were balancing with skill or with, you know, panache, with finesse, you know, as a performance piece, as a look how beautifully I'm managing to keep all these things running together. It's like, no, trying to catch everything as it's tumbling and keeping it balanced. And it's worse than spinning plates. Let's put it that way. The very fact that you were having to balance Two of Pentacles here, all of this, on something that just seemed, it just seemed like you was on a precipice where you could fall down at any point. And that hurt. So whatever that was, whatever it is that you've lost, with that pain and constant frenetic balancing in the past there, it strikes me that this Six of Swords is not lying. You are in a better place now. Even though there's something that you've lost, you're in a better place because you've lost it. And this, like I say, this Queen of Swords, I don't know, this Queen of Swords is being pushed and being driven by the Ace of Wands. I don't think the Queen of Swords is holding the Ace of Wands to move forward with. It's more like that this Queen of Swords is on a trajectory and you're in the way. As simple as that. Whatever that trajectory may be, you were in the way. But there's a lot of ways to interpret these other cards. Now, there seems to be a theme going through the readings this month of personal transformation and really opening up to the who you want to be. And here is the same. We have Spirit presenting you with the Ace of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. Now, the Page of Pentacles, to me, is the level up card. It is the stage one complete. I always like to use video game terminology. You've completed the first level. You fought the first level big boss. You are now on level number 2. So you're a total newbie because you've never been to level number 2 before. But nevertheless, you have level 1 under your belt. So you're not that much of a newbie. You're just in totally new territory. And with the Ace of Cups, that can indicate to me a new dream, a new passion. It can also be a new love. It can also be a new enchantment with the entire world around you. You know, there's all of a sudden you don't just see it's a damp morning, you see the dew on the trees and you notice the sun shining through them and all that sort of thing. Still a damp morning, you know, but it's just a beautiful damp morning now. And whatever this process is that started, the loss and the cutting away, the balancing has finished. You don't have to balance any longer. Which I think is probably a bit of a relief. These 2 cups, as ever in the 5 of Cups, remain upright. You've still got you've got everything that you need. You just have to be a little strategic because you are on your own at the moment. And so even if this Ace of Cups that Spirit is bringing in is about new love coming in, which it can be. You know my opinion on love readings. But it could be that. But it's more I'm seeing like a new love, as in a new love being expressed from you or from within you is probably a better way of saying it. Like the way that you are viewing the world, the way that you are now, all this balancing and the constant background of pain with the balancing has shifted. You can see the world with fresh eyes. Now, this Wheel of Fortune here feels predictive. There's good news coming. There's good news that brings things nearly to an end. Nearly, because it's the 9, not the 10. 9 of Wands here. And it's very much a 9 of Wands, less the Wounded Warrior and more thou shalt not pass. This priestess here, if I hold it closer to the camera, this priestess here, the way she's holding her staff before her, makes me think a lot more of like Gandalf trying to stop the Balrog going past, then you know those cards where the wounded warrior is like propped up against one of the 9 wands. There's a duty here, there's a principle. And the other reason why I say there's a principle is because in the future that you're moving into, oh yeah, maybe it's a love reading, we've got lovers here as well, I forgot about that. But we've got the Justice card. Don't teach me to say out. We've got the Justice card in the future that you're moving into, and the Justice card in the final outcome. So something is being set right, and that thing that is being set right is being set right by the fact that you are taking a stand, whatever that stand is, you are taking a stand, and circumstance is bending in your favour. Now, as I say, the stream that we're coming into, we have the Lovers card. Now, I've recently, in both of these decks, because in Virgo, the Gilded Tarot Lovers came out, and I saw it as an elevation, and we've got that theme here, one lifting another up. On the Gilded Tarot, it was the man lifting the woman up, whereas here, it's the woman pulling the man up. So again, there's this sense of elevation. The Lovers card also indicates a choice, something that, yeah, are you going to take this offer or not? Well, if that is based on the Wheel of Fortune, yes, take it, definitely. But there's an opportunity to elevate, to, I don't even want to say to commit, because with this Lovers card, what's occurred in my mind is that phrase, if you love it, set it free. So that they're not elevating one another to be locked into a partnership here. They're elevating, the female spirit here is elevating the male spirit to lift that male spirit up into a term of freedom. Look, she can fly, he's on the ground. And I think that there's a wonderful sense of that lift up, elevation going on with that Lovers card. But again, if it is a love reading, could be new love coming in a big way. But it's new love that will evolve you. New love that will free you rather than limit you. New love that will give you greater expression. Now, expression, that's what I want to... Firstly, you managed to go through all that balancing period. You've managed to go through this loss period, which is still going on with that Queen of Swords standing in your way. So, from the Queen of Moon Oracle, we got 2 cards. Resilience. That speaks for itself. You have to maintain that resilience that you've had going so far, but the fact is that you have that resilience to weather what's going on here in the center of the reading, and release. You know, so, and it's literally, there's 2 ways of seeing that. There's, you have the opportunity here to let something go. Again, that's a common theme in all of these readings this month, you know, which is better. I think it was some new moon readings where I was telling everybody to fight the standard thinking that was around them. And I was like really worried that it was going to be people raging against lockdown restrictions and letting the virus run rampant. But it turned out it was, it turned out it was the time of the Black Lives Matter protests, which I entirely support, and I can understand why they were wanting to rebel against the prevailing thought. That was it. Prevailing thought was the phrase here. Whereas here, with this release, and with all of this stuff, it's far more personal. It's far more internal. It's not to do with you and the outside world half as much as it's to do with you. End of. But also with this resilience then release, it's always keep the pressure, make that stand, keep the pressure, and done. So there's a culmination coming here, which I really, really like, which frees you up to be more of you. Now you're going to, there's something you've got to put work in. 7 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, 4 of Cups on the bottom of the second deck. So there's going to be huge neon signposts going, look this way. You know, as the voice of God keeps waving this cup under your nose, going, will you notice this? You know, there's, which I think that you will, because you're feeling a lot more secure now, is what this 9 of Pentacles is telling me. And this, this 7 of Swords, now, 7 of Swords can be a time of knowing when to release something. If you think of the Rider-Waite deck, he picks 5 of the swords up and leaves 2 of them behind because he doesn't need them. Or he doesn't want them, or he can't carry them. But we'll see, he doesn't need them on this one. However, what I'm really drawn to is that you could call it an eclipse. So there's almost like the penny has dropped. The realization has just gone, oh my God. And the 7 of Swords is a very strategic card. You know, you choose the 5 swords, or here he's only carrying 3 of the 7 swords, but it's interestingly, he's got his finger to his lips because, well, because there's a huge barbarian axeman around the corner ready to chop his head off. So I feel like there's something that you may have been doing in secret that has been quite strategic that, you know what, I just want to say, good on you. You know, I haven't got a comment on it one way or another than to say other than good on you. You've got the right idea going. And you could look at that as an eclipse, or you could look at it as a black sun. Now, the black sun meditation is a symbol of power for like black magicians. So there's the penny dropping, earth shattering power of the eclipse here, plus the using your strategy with power behind it. You're not just peeing in the wind with this. Do you know what I mean? This is a proper concerted effort. And I do feel that there is someone around you that, there's someone around you that feels really comfortable to be with. This may be an old friend or an old associate. When I say old, I don't mean that they're older than you or younger than you. I mean that you've known them for a long time. And also when I say old, I don't mean that they're someone who has been missing. They might have been there the entire time. They might not have been. It's irrelevant. You've known them for a long time. They feel familiar. They feel warm. And they are providing a very nurturing influence on you, whoever that may be. So it's that is something where I also want to say that, nice as that is, you don't need it. I mean, I'm not saying say no to it, but anyway, you know, take nice things when you can. But you don't need their support. But it's just really nice to have that support, have that nurturing there. Because you are a bit concerned. King of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. You are a bit concerned about how your actions will have a long-term effect. But this opposition force at you, the one that's trying to cut things away, that's just driving and driving and driving, they don't seem to be so worried about the effects. So I don't really think that you should, because Justice card here, you will be setting things right. It may be a lot of work, but you're going to come into company with your peers. And it may be a little nerve-wracking. It may be that you are feeling a tad defensive, but you're leveling up, and it's almost like you're graduating. And now you get to go into the alumni's room, because you have earned your place there. And you might be thinking, oh God, all these people know all this stuff, or they're so capable, or whatever the context is. But no, you're there as their equal because you've done the same thing as they did to get there. So how to link that with the rest of the reading? There's a graduation, a understanding of where your confidence should be, coming to your awareness in the process of setting whatever this is right, and in the process of you being elevated, whether that is by your own actions and by this justice card appearing twice, or whether it is by new love coming in. As you can tell, I'm not sold on the new love idea, but I never am. So, because I just don't like love readings, because my own opinion is none of my business. So I'm not dissing anyone who does love readings. It's just I don't want to do them. Now, these two cards. This is talking very much about how you are getting elevated. We have the Ceridwen card, which is about transformation, finding some creative outlet or some new expression of yourself. And then we have the Dwelling in Truth card. I stand in the light of truth. Isn't that sweet? But I'm not seeing that as truth, as in truth and justice, even though we've got the two justice cards. I want to read you from the book because I read Ceridwen because I'm still learning this Mists of Babylon. And I thought, hang on a minute, that's really similar to what the Dwelling in Truth card says. So I went and looked the Dwelling in Truth card up. So Ceridwen is, the message with this card is connect with your divine inner knowing and ask what your soul is calling for you to be and do. Take a creative direction and transform yourself and your world into something or someone new, which we've already discussed with this elevation, with this meeting up with peers, with this rising of vibration, this taking a stand is all part of that, is the step towards that. And then, get the book the right way up might help. So express your talent and let your light shine. And then it says a little bit about Ceridwen, but basically you encounter this card when you are about to take a creative direction, when you finally decide it's time to take up art, join a choir, create crafts, blah, 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 write that novel, get a master's degree or whatever. It gives you the courage to follow through with the deal that you made with yourself. Do you run away from something that's calling you from deep within? Do you stay in a job or a relationship or a situation that is not serving you and is not your greatest calling? Creativity, wisdom, inspiration, and simply a new way of being and living will find you. No matter how much you try to disguise yourself, now is the time for your transformation, which, in terms of hippie woo-woo, that's lovely. But I am seeing that echoed in the tarot cards, specifically with that Lovers card, with that Seven of Wands here, and the power from this Wheel of Fortune and the way that the Ace of Cups is coming in from Spirit. So, Dwelling in Truth. The soul loves the truth. Be honest with yourself and listen to your inner guidance. Follow it by speaking your truth. To thine own self be true. You radiate the energy of truth to others so that they can find out their truth. So there's an element of truth and justice here. The universe wants you to know there is a place inside of you that always knows the truth. Take time to be still, to discover it. And it talks about finding an area in your life where you're not being authentic or not being living in integrity. Here's the time to make some changes. What do I need to do to be in accordance with my deepest truth? Is there anyone who isn't being truthful with me? Do I need to take action regarding the situation? There is this in both of these, whether it's a creative side of you or an aspect of your nature that may easily have been repressed in the past because you just did not have the time or the opportunity or the window to express it in your life in any way, shape, or form. And that might have been part of the cause of the hurt, the pain that was there. There is this, with these two, right, being with the lovers, there's something wonderful that you can allow yourself to be. I think that's the, as much as you are taking a stand against something, there is something here that once that has culminated, there is something you need to give yourself the freedom to be something new. Whatever that new thing is, be something. It's not necessarily all that new, as in there's been that voice in your head going, you know you want to do this. You know you want to do this. You know you want to do this. I'm reminded of a Facebook meme that I saw yesterday. When I see chocolate, there are two voices that I hear in my mind. The first voice goes, you should eat the chocolate. The chocolate is nice. Go on, eat the chocolate. The second voice goes, you heard him. And that's the two voices here saying, open up, level up, open up to this new to the outside world facet of you that hasn't necessarily been given free rein before. But if you ain't got time right now because you're dealing with that Queen of Swords, I do believe that certainly within the span of this reading, September, if you're watching it, timing's not absolute. Let me remind you of this. What is that you may well bring these issues to a culmination. What this is definitely saying is that this situation will end without a shadow of a doubt. However long it may have been going on for, whether this is the result, whether this was what you've escaped or this was the start of the cutting, there is a resolution, a conclusion, a culmination in sight, which then frees you up to be a whole new aspect of you, which is really nice. I don't envy where you are right now, but bear in mind that you are still in a better place than where you were. Okay, Libra, if that means anything, yeah, comment down below. If not, press like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and go and watch your moon and your rising. Definitely your rising. Cheers.